Hi everyone and welcome back. In the next few lessons, we are going to learn about different hairstyles, how to draw them, and how to color them. This hairstyle is more towards a straight hairstyle with a hint of wavy feeling, and the color is brown, blonde, and grayish. This lesson doesn't have a photo reference to be drawn from as it is from imagination. And after you have learned this lesson and practice, you can draw it in different ways and experiment different colors with different colors. So don't worry about it. Look at the hand movements and how we draw the main outlines. You have to make sure also, you go through the assignments and your downloadable resources because we do have all the sketches of this hair drawing and the outlines ready for you to be downloaded. Now, as we have already started for the hair drawing, you don't need to have a certain line stroke in mind, as hair can be feel very free to be honest. Therefore, look at the hand movements and how we draw this style and follow along. As you can see, we have done the drawing parts is already done, and we are adding more pressure, and some of the outlines they are actually shows more obvious. Make sure they feel loose and in a non-organized way. That's quite important. One point you should pay more attention is where it should be darker and where we should have highlights. We are not gonna go towards the highlights, even with the brown color that we are using, which is burnt umber, is a great pencil for outlines, even for blonde color hairstyle. So here we started walnut brown. Again, another perfect color for this one. Make sure you determine where would be the highlights again and the dark areas. Don't darken too much when it comes for the first layer, as it might be hard to correct the blending parts. To add correct blending later, I have to say. Always make sure when you're starting giving darker colors during the first layer, and then gradually we're gonna add lighter ones. Now you can see the tip of the parts that we have drawn is there a little darker. Just because of the first layer line drawing, the hair started to feel much real. We're still using the walnut brown. They move your hand a little slower and make sure the colors you're applying the colors in different areas. So again, warm gray color is an amazing color to blend the layers. For instance, if you have brown, it gives you makes the color the previous surface a little richer. In order to continue the grayish color, this would do a very good job on yours. So be patient and don't hasten the color layering. You keep changing the colors from brown to gray. Since we use the brown, we keep blending it and fade the colors a little so they don't look too obvious. As mentioned, be patient, guys. So continuing, later one after we have done the main outlines, we are gonna start using light yellow ochre. Just to emphasize, hair drawing is very easy. A lot of my students they say hair drawing is one of the hard ones that they try to do, but it's actually very easy to do. If you follow this and practice, it will be okay. You will be okay, and you will learn so many different hairstyles in the next few lessons. If you don't have the same color pencils, that's still okay as well. When drawing, you can just use one yellow color for gold hair. It needs darker base layer as we have done and more highlights being drawn before actual yellow color. So as you can see and learn so far, after we have used this color, we're gonna use walnut brown again. So you will see how it looks like. Even though we are using a lot of brown, still it's gonna feels like a blonde hair. So when we are talking about blonde hair, it doesn't mean it's all yellow colors being used all the time. It has lots of like deeper, richer, darker colors. See how we keep adding layers. In the previous lessons, you have learned this. Now it's time to apply it to more livelier hairstyles. We do have a lot of like examples and assignments in your, of course, in your project and assignments being available for you to download. You have to start gradually put more pressure on pencil in order for the lines to stand out more. Like here, you can see adding more pressure. The strokes looks more visible. The hair should feel like loose. Don't make like all the lines feel the same. Just move your hand with different hand pressure, pencil pressure, go around. Look how much other like different hair strokes we are adding. It's all about details and mixing slash blending the colors. You can start give more yellow hint around the layers. So gradually actually start adding them. Make sure like you analyze, you think, even though we don't have a model here, you can look at anything. You can look at a hairstyle before starting, say, okay, near the lines, you can see near the wavy place, where I should add more layers, where it needs to be darker, and where it needs to be have highlights. So we keep adding layers gradually, and with gray number one, with warm gray, we're gonna a little blend. It's going towards burnishing now, because with our burnishing technique, we really don't get rid of all the white graininess. However, it's gonna give a very rich feeling. These places that we are arrowing, it just determine where are the highlights should be. So make sure leave those places out, guys. So again, do not please do not go into the white highlights of the paper, and make sure we keep them intact so they feel more real. Now make the hair more realistic. We need to add few extra hair strokes around in different direction, like here. Repeat the process, keep repeating the process and create more layers. Make sure you watch and draw at the same time if possible. Have the piece of paper we are using cast art is cartridge paper which has texture, and again use your ochre. It's a brilliant color for so many you can use it for so many different like subjects, and for skin, for a lot of like hairstyles. It's a very nice color to use. We keep adding layers. Just at once, don't add all the layers. In the previous lesson, which was our do's and don'ts, you realize if you add sudden layer without like using different pencil combination of pencil, how bad it's gonna be like. So please don't repeat the don't parts. As you can see here, we are going to add more hair strokes. Have a look. Here, because the brownish part was a little too much, we are adding like the lighter color to blend that area. Always you can use lighter colors to get rid of those graininess and also blend. So using lighter color on darker color instead of using white or a blender is the key. Is the important technique that we have learned in the past few lessons. So we are almost done. Now it's time for the last layer using both our yellow colors. Using lighter color, now which is Naples yellow, to give the absolute highlights that we need. Using lighter yellow for the yellow highlights is amazing. If you use this color too much, however, the color will look a little unnatural, so make sure and be careful. For the last part, we must give some darker lines on very front parts of the hair to create what was for the base, from the base color. So we are almost done. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. And in the next lesson, hair drying again, we are going to learn a brunette hairstyle. So keep practicing, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Bye bye now.